Well, good day, everybody. This is Tim, and I'm doing a follow-up to a video I did last year. I believe it was September 11th last year. I went back and looked at the video, and that video was called The Imminent Rapture of the Church, which it is still imminent, okay? I did not do a specific date. I gave you a time thing based on some information that we looked at, and it certainly could have happened back then. Though I didn't set a particular date, I gave you a time window when there was a potential for it. But I want to update that today. And had I known this last year, when I did the video, I found this through some other research and study. And it was just a matter of history. So let me give you what I gave you last year. We know that the rapture is likely tied to the Feast of Tabernacles. All right. Feast of Tabernacles is one of the Old Testament feasts, and that celebrated the Exodus from Egypt, and is also called an ingathering. Okay. Now, why that's important is this. The Exodus of Egypt is a picture of the church coming out of the type of the world. Okay, Egypt in the Old Testament is a type of the world. In gathering, we're going to be gathered under Christ. Okay, so it looks like that would take place there. So it's the Feast of the Ingathering. It represents the Exodus from Egypt, which is a believer leaving the world. All right, and it's an ingathering to Christ. So Feast of Tabernacles is one we're looking at. Now, last year I gave you Ussher's chronology, having Adam at 4004 BC, which would put Christ about 4 BC, which would put his death, burial, resurrection in 29 AD. If that's the case, if those dates are correct, we're going to count 2,000 years from 2029. Not from his birth, but from his death, burial, resurrection, which gives us, let's do it this way. 2,000 years. Death of the Lord is 1,000 years. 1,000 years is one day. That puts us at 2029. And then you back off 7-year tribulation, gives you 2022. Now, also gave you last year that the parable of the fig tree generation, could be 40, 70, or 80 years. Now, Israel became a nation in 1948. However, it was February 14th, 1949 was their first government meeting. Okay, so instead of using 48, we should probably use 49. Figure in the 80-year generation, and you get 2029. Minus the 7-year tribulation, 2022. Now, I mentioned the Feast of Tabernacles, which is this year. So again, I'm going to give you another 1-week time frame from October 9th to October 16th, 2022, which is this year. All right. I'm going to see if I can tighten that up a little bit there for you. It's kind of hard to read. My marker's running a little dry. I'm going to get another one. So what we're looking at is the Feast of Tabernacles, which is October 16th or October 9th through October 16th of this year, as a tight window for the rapture of the church. Okay. And right now, this is April 22nd of 2022. So we are just inside 6 months of a what we would call a very likely window. Now the window would extend until, if we go with 4000 BC, maybe Ussher's off by 4 years, the calendar change, which puts Christ at 0, which puts it at 33, which would make this 2033. Then you would add, that would be a difference of 4 years. So it could be 2026. But if Usher's chronology is correct, it would be somewhere between October 9th and October 16th this year, or it would extend out to Feast of Tabernacles 2026. Now, you can go back and look at, because I got a lot of good information. I gave you all the verses on the generations, the fig tree, and everything else back on my video, the Imminent Rapture of the Church, which was done last fall. And but with the information that the government's first meeting was February 14th of 1949, once a nation governs itself, then that would probably be the beginning of the nation. So, or at least the resurrection of the nation of Israel right there. So if we go from 1949 then, and then you can look at Song of Solomon 2 to figure out kind of the months and everything. But it certainly seems to line up with the Feast of Tabernacles, which represents the Exodus out of Egypt, which would be a picture of the church exiting out of the world. It's also called the Feast of the Ingathering. So kind of a short video today, but I wanted to give you the update. We're looking really probably at 1949 is the beginning of that generation that will not pass away until all these things be fulfilled. And if that generation lines up with 80 years in the book of Psalms chapter 90, that would put it out to 2029. Provided the rapture of the church is pre-tribulation, which it certainly looks like it is, because Enoch was taken out before the flood, which represented the tribulation in Genesis 6, and some other places you can find to give kind of a picture of that. So 2029 minus 7 gives us 2022. Feast of Tabernacles, October 9th to October 16th of this year. So we could be right now within 6 months of the rapture of the church, with a pretty good time window going by biblical mathematics and running back history. So there you go. Just wanted to give you that update today. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, you can still go back and look at the Imminent Rapture Church for the other things. But we're going to move that window from 48 to 49, and which, again, was the first meeting of the Israeli, what they call Knesset. That's their government meeting, was February 14th of 1949. So we'll use 80 years from there, which gives us 2029 minus the 7-year tribulation, which would put the rapture in 2022, which would be this year. And again, October 9th through 16th is the window for the Feast of the Tabernacles, which it would seem to line up with. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the short video today. Thanks much. Go back and look at all the other videos. Take care.